The NRL Bunker is proving itself as much use as a monkey in space currently. Will, they are making decisions every week that are leaving both fans and players bewildered.
They're about as useless as this eggplant emoji. Mate, I'm sick of walking into cafes. I'm sick of walking into pubs and everybody can just talk about the first thing off their lips, not how good the game is, how good the quality of the games are, Origin, all this sort of stuff. It's like, what about the fucking refs, Willie? What about the refs? What about the refs? It's like, it's costing people money. It's pissing people off. I mean, the people just want to turn away from the game because of a couple of decisions. Like, just go to the bunker every time. Just say, even there's a forward pass. We've got all this technology. Why can't we use it on a forward pass? Like, look at Manly on the weekend. It costs their game.
Yeah,
they're playing for their season. Like, even though people know that they're already gone, you still want to win every game. Gold Coast, that knock on was ridiculous.
That's the worst I've seen.
I mean, good on O'Sullivan for getting. He was embarrassed about scoring the try. That went up to the bunker and they made that a try.
Yeah.
Why can't we rule? Just say if the on-field referee has no idea about it, about the forward pass or anything like that, why can't we rule on a forward pass? We can rule on everything else but a forward pass. That's going to cost someone a grand final.
I look at it. The game started off with one referee and 2 touch judges, right? Yep. So there was 3 people making decisions. They'd have a bit of a chat sometimes. They'd make a decision in regard to a shit decision, if it was a shit decision, and we'd move on. Then you move to 2 referees. So all of a sudden there's 4 people making decisions. And then you involve the bunker. And there's someone in the bunker, 1, 2, 6, I don't know how many people are in the bunker. There's an eggplant there. All of a sudden, you've got human error times 5 instead of human error times 1.
People could put up with the 1.
They did. People did. Now, because you've got all this expensive technology, they're not making any decisions right.
No.
Why don't you get rid of it? Go back to 1 referee.
But I don't understand when they do. This is what players, they can't wrap their head around it. It's like when they do send it up to the bunker and the bunker still gets it wrong. That O'Sullivan try was the perfect example of just going, What the fuck? Like, Gold Coast were playing for their season, and they had a chance to beat the Roosters. I can understand why they could be just so pissed off.
Yeah.
And they look at that decision. It would have been 8-6 or something like that. But like, they were just so deflated after that try, and I just couldn't believe it. And players can't do it, and they just one day someone's just going to absolutely smash the shit out of a referee or something.
But does it make it better? Like, does it genuinely, the bunker itself? I just don't think that the technology has led to better decisions. If you look at it, all that happens is it wastes time in the game and it makes me want to eat fried chicken, which isn't a good thing. Now, if they got rid of the bunker and they go back to the days where there's just 1 referee, we cop it, it's a bad decision, everyone moves on. Why do they need the bunker?
I don't understand. They've spent millions of dollars on this little thing, and it's a waste of money, and it's not making the game any better. You ask any fans, they do polls, it's just 100% against the bunker. I just want to understand, like, who is accountable for this stuff? Like, are these guys just part-time? Are they part-time players, ex-players? I've seen, like, a couple of ex-players in there, but do they have a full-time job? Like, being in the bunker is not a full-time job, so I'm not sure if they're putting their whole fucking heart and soul into it. Because some of the decisions they're making, it's like they don't give a shit.
Well, Bernard Sutton came out.
If you're in any sort of job and you fuck up that bad, you're going to get sacked. I want to know what happens when do they get sacked? Do they get demoted? Do they get put back where? In the reserve grade bunker? No, there's not. They still get... They get to stay there and just get a slap on the wrist and go and get Bernard Sutton to come out and have you back.
Yeah.
But like, it's just ridiculous.
He came out.
How can you fuck up so bad when you've got every single bit of technology? This does people's heads in.
It's human error.
You talk human error. Plus, then you've got everything to look at, and they slow everything down to the nitty gritty. It's not just me. It's like every single demographic from a 15-year-old to a 70-year-old. It's pissing everyone off. So either get rid of it or do the fucking thing properly.
I reckon get rid of it because realistically, there's a human who runs the bunker. There is still going to be human error. So why waste 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the game? Rugby union's licking its fingers at the moment because of the KFC bucket, but they're licking their fingers because rugby league has always been a fast-paced game. They look at rugby union with the scrums and the stoppages and they say, look at all this crap that goes on. Now, you sit there waiting for the KFC decision, and it takes 2 or 3 minutes out of the game.
And on the weekend, there was a perfect example that St George played the West Tigers. There was 5 penalties blown.
Yeah.
There's a war of attrition. All the commentators were just, hooting about it. Oh, now you get the fatigue factor in.
Yeah.
Now the big boys can't stay on there for 30 or 40 minutes. Then the little guys will start running and all the backs come into play because they didn't stop the game. That was probably the best ref game. I don't know who refed it, but congratulations. But that was the best ref game I've seen for a while. 5 or 6 penalties, I think, in the whole game.
Yeah.
That was probably the best game of the round. And, the West Tigers end up winning, but the game was just non-stop flowing. People want to see that. They don't want to see people getting strapped up in the back, waiting for fucking 2 minutes while someone straps someone's leg.
Yeah.
Someone's got to change that. That's the refs as well. Send him off. There's so many little things in the game that can speed the game up, that players are playing to the rules. If you're fatigued, I've seen Cameron Smith. There was a guy getting his leg strapped. He was playing for the Storm. You think Cameron Smith's going to whinge about it? The players are smart. Forwards get fatigued, and if you can get a minute or two, just to get your breath back while your old mate's getting his nose stitched up or something like that, or his leg bandaged, you'll take full advantage of that and not care. They need to make a rule in that because it's getting people want to see this war of attrition. Everyone wants to see it,
Well, interestingly, the Origin figures, it's still rated really well, but the figures are down. Now, for mine, that means that people are turning off. Now, there could be that people are getting their live streaming, people watch us on the internet. Maybe people were watching, some people, maybe people were watching on live streaming. But the NRL needs to understand that they have a product in a crowded market, and if they are doing things that are going to make people turn off, the broadcast deal will stop, the money will stop, and that will be the end of rugby league.